Welcome back to the Cloth Diaper Podcast. My name is Bailey and today is Textile Tuesdays, where we're going to start looking into textiles, looking into their impact on the environment and how they work for you in cloth diapering. I'm starting with a super basic series where we're going to go over some of what I think we all need to know about this textile to get started. So last week we did 5 things you need to know about microfiber, and this week we're doing 5 things you need to know about cotton. That's right, 5 things about cotton. And these aren't necessarily bad things, they're not necessarily good things, and so this is just a starting point to have an idea about how certain textiles work for cloth diapering, work for the environment, work for the user, etc. If you have any more specific questions that you want to dive into, always drop them down below. I love continuing this conversation afterwards. That is my lifeblood, my passion. You can find a blog post dedicated to this as well over at clothdiaperpodcast.com if you're not into watching videos or you know somebody who prefers to read, like me, because I would never watch this video. I'd be like, why, god damn it, did that person not write it down? So cotton is the OG, the original. Cotton has been what we've been using to cloth diaper our children for a significantly long time, and there may have been a period in time when they were using other textiles, but that whole history is probably a little bit muddy. Our grandparents are probably familiar with using cotton cloth diapers. It's been around the block, it's changed and it's evolved now in 2019 compared to 1920s, but it's the original diaper, and in some sense, people knew what they were doing when they were cloth diapering with cotton. Sometimes there's some things in life you shouldn't mess with. Like when you have a good thing, you got a good thing, people. On that topic, cotton today in 2019 does look very different. There's all sorts. So there's cotton all-in-ones, there's cotton pre-folds, there's cotton inserts, there's cotton flats, there's cotton pre-flats, there's cotton pre-folds. There's all sorts of different shapes and sizes that cotton can take. And different types of cotton products work in different ways. Now, the second thing I want you to know is that cotton is really absorbent. So many charts put cotton at the bottom of the list for absorbency. And they kind of put it there with microfiber, and rightfully so, because it's not super absorbent. But when you look at that list, I want you to know that because cotton's at the bottom doesn't mean it's terrible. Cotton is actually a fairly absorbent material, and most of the time when people make cotton pre-folds, cotton flats, or other cotton diaper inserts, they're always cognizant of what the user needs. So a cotton all-in-one, yeah, that could be concerning, but some cotton all-in-ones, like the Blueberry Simplex, hold 8 to 10 ounces. Same with the Thirsty's Natural Fibers, same with the Smart Bottoms all-in-one. So just because a product is made out of cotton doesn't mean it's not going to hold up to a child. The third thing I want you to know is that there is a difference between organic and non-organic cotton. So this is kind of one of the conversations that I want to continue to have later on, and we'll talk about it in other ways. But organic cotton is important because it doesn't use a lot of resources. So cotton manufacturing today takes a huge environmental toll on the world. So cotton is about 3% of the world's crops and uses anywhere from 16 to 25% of the world's pesticides. Numbers vary. I get different numbers from different sources. I think 16% of the world's pesticides seems to be the more current 2019 number, and 25% a more outdated. But nonetheless, it requires a lot of resources. And the manufacturing of cotton is extremely resource dependent. It uses fertilizers, it uses pesticides, and it uses water. If we look at things like the aerial sea, which has shrunk drastically over time, one of the reasons is because cotton is a very popular crop in that area and uses a lot of water. When we look at organic cotton, we're now going to a GMO-free system. We do have lesser crop density, which means lesser needs for pesticides and herbicides as well. A lot of organic farmers will use a rainwater system and different impacts. There is some debate about whether or not organic versus non-organic is actually environmentally beneficial, but I'll let you make that decision, and maybe we can keep talking about it in another episode. A lot of the pesticides and herbicides that are involved with any kind of crop often have a negative impact on the environment, because now those are things that are meant to kill things, and those are chemicals and they're synthetics, and they often impact the endocrine systems of other animals, and which impact our entire ecosystem. So something to think about for sure. The other fun fact that maybe we should drop in here is that up until last year, in some countries in the world, cotton was still being farmed using forced labor. Slave labor and cotton has still been a thing into 21st century. Forced labor in the cotton industry continues to happen, and yeah, there are some cotton brands, there are cloth diaper brands out there like Ozakazi, which go out of their way to ensure that you know that their products are fair trade manufactured, fair trade grown, and made without the use of slave labor. Because yes, in 2019, I still need to talk about that, and that is very upsetting. So the fourth thing I wanted to talk about was that cotton holds up well, washes up well, and performs well. And I kind of find this one a little bit funny because I just got off the phone the day that I'm reading this, and the guest that I had, she said, oh, cotton didn't work for us because it gave my daughter rashes. Like, she just got super sensitive to how wet cotton was. And okay, so maybe cotton doesn't work for everybody. And then the other thing on the internet right now has been, there's been these pictures about cotton diapers that are really worn, and cotton does wear really much. It's very prone to kind of beginning to fall apart over time, and that's because cloth diapers aren't made to last forever. If they were, they would be a disposable diaper, right? So cloth diapers will begin to wear and tear over time. I do feel that unlike microfiber, cotton does hold up. So like you can still use a cotton diaper 3, 4, 5 years later, and there won't be that drastic impact loss of absorbency like you see with a microfiber product. So this original comment that I had written down in my notes maybe is a little bit mixed, but I think that overall cotton performs really well. It washes really well, and with the right washing and the right dedication, it could be a great product for you. And the fifth thing that I wanted to add is that cotton is really cheap. This is why cotton is great. I think if you compare like microfiber to cotton prices, often microfiber inserts are not much cheaper than cotton products. Even though it's a synthetic, organic cotton on the other hand does begin to increase in price, but is still cheaper than other textiles such as bamboo and hemp. So cotton offers a great way to cloth diaper affordably. It also is a great way to be very versatile with your cloth diapering experience. I still use a lot of my cotton products in my home life, because they can work to clean up my floors as well as they work to hold pee in my daughter's diaper. So that was it that I wanted you to know and get started about our conversation with cotton. Let me know what topics you want to dive into next, and we'll make that a priority here on the Cloth Diaper Podcast. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye.